I'm Teresa, and this is the story of how I got my stuff stolen at the Silk Sonic concert. So let's just start from the very beginning, okay? Because anyone who knows me, if you can't tell by the shirt that I'm wearing, I am a huge Bruno Mars fan. So months and months and months ago, I decided to get a ticket to the Silk Sonic concert because I wasn't sure if they were going to go on an actual tour, if the residency was the only thing they were going to do, if they were even going to do another album. So I was like, this might be my only chance to see these two in concert. So I spent the money, I saved, and I bought the ticket, and I've been planning this for months. So the concert actually happened the first week of August, whatever the first weekend of August was, on a Saturday. I think it's like the 8th, 9th, something like that. Now, I reached out to a cousin of mine who lives in California, and basically she was to go to the concert with me because California is not that far of a drive from Vegas. However, she is an aspiring actress, and she ended up getting an acting gig shortly before the concert, so she couldn't go with me. So I ended up going to the concert alone. Granted, I've done this before. I flew all the way to New York, got on a plane for the first time to see Bruno Mars's last tour at Madison Square Garden. And I went to him in my hometown of Atlanta. 24 Karat Magic Tour, I think, was Madison Square Garden, and then Atlanta was Moonshine Jungle. Went there by myself. It's hard for me to get my friends to spend the kind of money that I spend on these tickets, because if I'm gonna go to a concert to see my favorite artist, I wanna be on the floor. So to call up a person who's not a huge fan of Bruno Mars and say, hey, you got an extra $400 laying around, it's gonna be a no. And I don't wanna put that kind of pressure on anyone. So I ended up saying, all right, looks like I'm gonna be going to Vegas by myself. Guys, if you see me looking down at my phone, it's because I have my notes down here. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss out on any of the good details. So first and foremost, I got a ticket. I'm going alone. I ended up buying a hotel in Vegas through booking.com. So remember, that's a very important factor, because once I tell this story, in the background, if you hear thumping, it's my little 8-pound, there he is, my 8-pound dog. So don't mind him. On booking.com, I booked a specific hotel. I've never used booking.com before. I usually book straight through the hotel, but it basically saved me a little bit of money. I'm not going to give you the particular name of the hotel. I'll explain why later. So I booked the hotel. I've got my plane ticket. I flew Spirit for the first time. You know, I've heard some horror stories about Spirit, but I was like, you know what? The tickets were a fair price. Let's do it. I didn't buy the tickets till like a couple of Prince. I get on the plane. It actually wasn't that bad. My experience with Spirit wasn't that bad. I land in Vegas. The first thing I do is I call the hotel and I say, hey, is it all right if I show up a little bit early? Because my plane arrived at like 8 a.m. and I couldn't check into the hotel until 3 p.m. Can I come to the hotel and just wait in the lobby until my room was ready? And the people were like, sure, that's totally fine. Plus, I had left my phone charger at home, so I knew I didn't have a lot of phone juice, so I was trying to get somewhere where I could get a charger. So I decided to call an Uber to get me from the airport in Las Vegas to the hotel. The hotel was like maybe 15 minutes away from the airport, 20 minutes tops. Never had a problem with Uber before until this moment. The Uber driver shows up. Now in the Las Vegas airport, you have to go to like a specific area to meet the Uber driver. I've never been to an airport that does it like this. You have to like go to a certain terminal or floor. I struggled to find him. He had been waiting on me for a few minutes, and I know after a certain period of time, these Uber drivers will leave, you know, if they've been waiting too long. But I finally find him. He's probably already frustrated that I took so long. I go up to the car. I do all of the normal things I usually do when an Uber pulls up. Check to see if the license plate matches. I'm going to walk to the front. I'm going to ask the Uber driver's name, and then I'm going to ask them who they're here to pick up. Those are the 3 questions, bare minimum, that I ask before hopping in an Uber, particularly when I'm in a city so far away, because my home is Atlanta, even though I live in South Carolina. Las Vegas is pretty far, so if something goes wrong in this Uber, it's going to be bad. So I go up to the car, license plate matches, check. I go up to him. Hey, who are you here to pick up? He rolls his eyes and he goes, Tricia. And no, that's not how you say my name, but I knew what he meant. And I said, okay, and sir, what's your name? He was like, didn't I just tell you I was here to pick up? I was like, yes, I just want to confirm that you are who you say you are, because he never stepped out of the car. It's dark. I can't see him. So I just wanted to make sure he was the right person, but he wasn't having it. So all of a sudden he goes, you know what? This isn't going to work. And he drives off. Shook. Now I'm a Black woman alone in the Las Vegas airport with no how to get me from the airport to the hotel. So I was like, let me call a Lyft. The Lyft driver shows up rather quickly. He actually comes out of the car and is calling for my name. So I'm like, okay, well, at least he's already confirming who he's here to pick up. I walk up to him. I check the license plate. Check. I say, what's your name? And he says, I don't know, Alex. Let's just call him Alex. And I was like, cool, perfect. He puts my things into this car, way nicer than the Uber driver was. He starts to speak, but then I realized very quickly he does not speak English, which is fine. However, the navigation that he was using was in Spanish, and it made me a little nervous because I couldn't tell if he was taking me to the hotel or not. But luckily he was great, fantastic. I gave him a cute tip for that. He got me to the hotel in decent time. I roll up to the hotel, let's say around 9 o'clock. I walk up to the front desk. I'm like, hey, I called earlier. I know I don't check in until 3 p.m., but I would like to check in early and hang out in the lobby until my room is ready. She said, okay, let me get your driver's license. Let me confirm your identity and whatever. I give her my ID. And then she goes, could your booking be under another name? I said, oh, no, ma'am. Let me give you my confirmation number because I know I booked through this specific hotel. She goes,
oh, no, baby. You booked a hotel in Henderson, Nevada, not Las Vegas.
Excuse me? I started freaking out. I'm like, what do I do now? Like, I have nowhere to stay, no hotel. I'm like, what should I do? She said,
well, you can call booking.com, see if they'll transfer or give you your money back and book here, or you can fight with them and see if you can get a refund. But I'm telling you now, all of my customers that use booking.com struggle to get their money back. You just let me know what you want to do. We do have a room available for you if you would like to stay here.
She asked me where I was going. I said I was going to the Silk Sonic concert. She said,
well, the concert is way closer to us because the other hotel that you booked is 45 minutes away. You're going to end up spending the same amount of money in Uber fees just to get back and forth from Vegas to where you were going.
She's got a point. So I sat down first and I called booking.com. I get on the phone with their customer service or whatever. I'm on hold forever. And I said, you know what? The spirit told me just book at this hotel. And I'm glad that I did, because even though both of the hotels were the same name, apparently they were not connected to where they could switch the bookings. I don't know. Anyway, let me just go ahead and get a room here and then I'll handle booking.com later. That was like another $300. That was supposed to be my spending money in Vegas. So now I'm like, ugh. I was supposed to go to the Strip. I was supposed to see all the sights. NABJ was also in town, which, if you don't know what that is, it's National Association of Black Journalists, and they were going to have an after party. I didn't have a ticket to go to that, but they were going to have an after party, and I was going to go and perhaps connect with some other journalists in the area. I was like, now I don't have the money to go to that. So I said, you know what? I flew to Vegas for the concert. Forget all that other stuff. It's fine. I'm just going to stay at the hotel and enjoy the concert and fly home. That's really all I need, and have money for food, right? Basically, I get on the phone with booking.com. I'm fighting back and forth with them. And I really had to be a Karen because they were trying to play with me about my money.
Oh, well, it's a cancellation fee is $150 and this and this and this, and we don't do refunds, and the hotel has to approve the refund.
They gave me all types of the runaround. I said, do what you got to do. I'm not paying you for a hotel I never stayed at. So figure it out. By the way, I left my charger, so I walked to the gas station across the street, came back to the hotel, ordered a pizza for dinner. I mean, all I could do was sit in the hotel. That's all I had the money for. I don't know if this delivery driver sat the pizza vertically in the car, but the cheese was on one side and the sauce and bread was on the other side. Like, all the toppings had slid on the pizza. And at this point, I'm like, there were a lot of red flags telling me that this Vegas trip was not going to go as planned. The pizza was also disgusting, most likely because all the toppings had been sloshed around. It was crazy. Like, I'm hungry really because the food wasn't that great. And I'm like, you know what? When I get to the concert, it's going to be all better. I go to bed. I get up. I ordered some nachos. Nachos are very simple. It's chips, meat, toppings. Those were the most disgusting nachos I've ever had. So I don't know what's wrong with Vegas and y'all's nachos, but y'all can keep that, return to sender. And I spend the beginning of the day just getting ready for the concert, putting my glam, doing my face, putting my outfit together. I'm getting all cute because I was like, this is the only thing I'm gonna have to do in Vegas because of my money. So I'm just gonna go all out and really make myself really happy, look good, feel good. I had bought this clear pouch because in the Atlanta arena, you have to bring a clear pouch. So I thought Vegas was going to be like that, but they weren't. I put my wallet, phone, all the stuff I needed for the concert, just a small bag to take with me. I call another Lyft, and the Lyft takes me from the hotel to the concert. I'm so excited. I'm about 2 hours early to this concert. Like, I think they didn't hit the stage till probably 9:30. I was there at 7:30. Now, before I bought a ticket to this concert, they let you know that they're going to be taking your phones away. So I knew for a fact I was not going to be able to record. That was what I mentally prepared for. No big deal. So I got in, went through security. I go to the merch table. I buy this. I buy a t-shirt as well. I was gonna get a photo, but the photos were like $50 and the drinks were like $20 for a cocktail. I don't know if Bruno makes these prices, but he's making a killing, okay? Everything was so expensive. I was like, okay, no, because I just had to drop them $300. I ain't had the money for all that. I bought me a little shirt and a sweatshirt. We're gonna call it a day for the memories. They lock your phones up in, the best way I can describe it is this pouch that has a lock. So you go up to security, they give you the pouch, you put your phone in there, you lock it. You can take the pouch in the concert with you, but if you want to unlock it, you have to walk outside of the concert, go back to security, and then have them unlock it, and then you can use it in the designated area, lock it back up, go back into the concert. I knew once I locked this phone up, I'm not leaving the concert to get it unlocked again. So I called my folks back home. I was like, I made it to the concert, I'm safe. You should hear from me in a couple hours. If you don't hear from me by 1, be concerned. I go inside of the concert. When I get inside, I'm so early that there's nobody else on the road. It's just me. Very bored. Very, very bored. They were playing like elevator music, like old music as we were waiting. I'm like, ugh, nobody's here for me to talk to, so I'm bored. Wasn't bored for long. Eventually, there's this drunk couple that comes stumbling in to Park MGM. That's the place where the concert or the residency was happening. They come in loud, belligerent, drinks in hand.
Hey, what's up?
All over the place. And I'm like, oh, okay, hey, hello. I'm trying not to be rude. Like, you can be drunk at the concert, you grown, whatever. And they're asking me all these questions.
Where are you from? How many, concerts of Bruno's have you been to? And
we're chopping it up. I'm chit-chatting. I'm bored, so it gives me something to do. But eventually they're like,
hey, do you want a drink?
I was like, no, thank you. I'm good. I don't need a drink. Thank you, though, for offering. They were like,
no, we need to get you a drink.
They were insistent. I said no at least 3 or 4 times, and they were so persistent.
Oh, we need to get you a drink.
So eventually, it was a woman and a man. The woman gets up. She goes to buy a drink. I've seen horrible, horrible things happen as a journalist to women who just take drinks from people. I never accept drinks from strangers. Even if I'm in the club and a guy wants to buy me a drink, I'm walking to the bar with him to see that bartender make the drink. Like, if you walk up to me with something, I'm not going to drink that. Like, that's weird. I don't know you like that. If I knew you, it'd be one thing, but I don't know you. And the drinks were like $20. I mean, that's a lot to buy a stranger a $20 drink. Like, they didn't look rich like that. They were in normal clothes. Eventually, the woman comes back with a drink and popcorn for the 3 of us. And so she hands me the drink and she hands me the popcorn. Now, the popcorn was sealed. So I was like, okay, I guess I can nibble on that, but I'm not drinking this drink. I sniffed it. I could smell tequila in it. I don't even like tequila. I'm putting it up to my mouth, but I'm not actually drinking it just so that they'll leave me alone, because they kept,
hey, drink.
And looking back at it, it's definitely another red flag. What if they had put something in that drink? What if that was what they were trying to do all along? This could have been very, very sinister. But obviously, old girl notices, because she's like,
you haven't drunk your drink.
Like, she kept asking me to toast with her over and over again. And I think that was her checking to see how much I had drunk. And eventually she was like,
yo, how come you haven't finished your drink?
I was like, I don't like tequila. I was just coming up with every excuse to not finish it, because I'm not drinking that. I don't know. You could put anything in there. Anyway, concert starts. I'm jamming. I'm having a good time. I'm dancing. I'm excited. Bruno's gorgeous. The vocals are gorgeous. Anderson's amazing. I'm having a blast. The drunk couple is having a blast, but they're getting drunker and drunker. And they start to buy drinks for other people on the road. So really, my antennas weren't up, because I was like, they're buying everybody drinks. They're really drunk. They're harmless. I'm not thinking anything of it. The pouch that I had my phone and my wallet and everything in, when I stood up for the concert, I had set it in between the flap of my seat. It was like movie theater seats that went up and down. I sat it in that crevice, and I was persistent about turning around, making sure it was there. Like, every 5 seconds in between every song, I'm checking. Let me see. All right, cool, it's there. Because I didn't want to lose it, because I had everything I needed in there. At one point in the concert, even the woman was like,
don't put your bag on the floor. You don't want to lose it.
She even said that to me, which I think is even weirder, because why are you paying attention to my bag? Antenna still didn't go up. Really, I felt horrible that I didn't catch that kind of stuff. Eventually, After Last Night comes on. After Last Night is my favorite song out the album. So when that came on, I was really the only person on my row really standing up and jamming and singing every word. I'm like, am I the only real fan here? This is my jam. I'm moving. Song's over. I'm excited. I'm clapping. Woo! I turn around. Bag is gone. Couple is gone. Reminder, this bag had my phone, wallet, everything inside of it. So I'm like, okay, maybe I dropped it. I start crawling around the floor. I'm having people shine they, lights down there to try to help me look for it. I'm tapping everybody. Can you look? Can you look? I didn't even see this couple leave, right? Nobody can find my purse. Not on the floor, not behind me, not in front of me. There was an older black woman sitting next to me. She was an angel. She said,
That couple that left, you weren't with them?
I said, no, I don't know these people. She's like,
I thought those were your friends because they left with 2 bags.
2 merch bags. I was like, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. There's 2 people. They both could have bought merch and that's why they have 2 bags. She said,
No, baby, I think they took your stuff.
and it hit me. These people were not nice people. They were bad people. I went over to the ticket guy who was checking tickets. I said, can you shine your light down there? Because I think someone may have taken my belongings. So he said,
Well, ma'am, if they took your belongings, this is very serious. I'm going to send you over to security and I'm going to go look for you.
he sends me out to security. I explained to the security lady everything that had happened. She says,
I'm going to have my security team sweep the building because if that couple's still here, we're going to find them.
ticket guy comes back. He says,
Ma'am, I looked everywhere on that row and I don't see your stuff anywhere. But whoever that couple was threw up all over the seats.
that's how you know I was having a good time, because I didn't even notice that those people had threw up all over the seats next to me. So I guess it was true they were drunk, but my stuff wasn't there. Security sweep the place. Stuff's not there, couple's not there. They moved me to another security guy. When I explained to that guy, he said, well,
Come with me, we're going to have to make a report about this.
so I file a report with Park MGM. He gives me a police report and he says,
We're going to do everything we can to help find your stuff.
and he puts me in this couch outside of the concert. So now I'm pissed because I'm missing the concert in the midst of all this. I know they're trying to help me, but I'm like, dang, the one thing I came to Vegas for has also been taken from me along with my stuff. I fill out all the reports. The security people let me use their phone so that I could call my folks and, let them know that I was okay and what had happened. Of course, my parents are freaking out. They freeze my bank accounts and do everything they can. And I said, hey, when I get back to the hotel, I'll call you. But for now, I do not have a phone. So it really sets in as I was waiting for security by myself that if I don't have a phone, I don't have a wallet. How am I going to fly home? How am I going to check out of the hotel? My boarding pass was on the phone. How am I going to get on the plane? There are so many things that, how am I going to call an Uber to get home? So many things were running through my mind because my whole life was in that bag. I'm watching confetti blowing out of Park MGM. I'm hearing Silk Sonic wrap up the concert. I didn't get to hear my second favorite song off the album, which was Blast Off. I didn't get to see them perform Leave the Door Open and whatever finale they had. I mean, that's like $100 worth of concert I missed. Eventually, the security guard comes back. He says,
We're going to look through the tapes and we're going to see if we can find those guys. In the meantime, here's a drink voucher. Here's a food voucher. Go get you something to eat and let us know where you go eat and we'll come find you once we know something. But you can stay here while we figure it out.
so I go get in line at the restaurant nearby as I wait. I mean, literally as I got to the front of the line, security comes back.
Hey, I think we found the people who took your stuff.
He pulls me to the side and he says,
We saw them on the security cameras. They were looking through your bag, so we know they intentionally stole it.
which broke my heart. I was like, maybe this couple was drunk and they accidentally picked up my stuff when they left. But now I know for a fact that they stole it on purpose. The security guy was like,
Well, we have their names because they bought a ticket here, and it appears as though they bought a hotel.
stupid. This idiot couple bought a hotel that was also owned by Park MGM. So Park MGM was able to find them, find what room they stayed in, and alert the other security at the other hotel to raid their room. By this time, it's like 1 a.m. So he said,
We're going to have our security get all the stuff out of the room and bring it to you to see if it's in there.
the security brings the stuff to me. I look through it. Thank God everything is in there. However, my phone isn't in there. What the security thinks happened is they tossed the phone because it was trackable and then just took the stuff, my wallet and stuff home with them. Good news though is I had everything I needed to get home. It just sucks that I didn't have my phone. Security people let me know,
They're going to be banned from every Park MGM location, from every hotel we own. They cannot come back anywhere.
I'm like, okay, that's fine. I was like, but listen, because I don't have a phone, how am I going to get a Uber or a taxi back home? Whatever. And this hotel was like,
We'll take care of that.
they put me, because they have taxis that specifically work for Park MGM apparently. They put me in one of their taxis and taxi took me back home. I was telling the guy in the taxi what he was like,
They called me, when my shift was over to come back and do this. What happened?
I explained to him. He was like,
What?
I'm like, does this not happen in Vegas often? Apparently not. The taxi driver was like,
I cannot believe somebody would do something like that. I've heard of people robbing and stuff, but not like this. Like, that's messed up. They took everything from you and left you stranded.
I was like, exactly. He was like,
Okay, well, I'm going to take you back to the hotel. Here's my card. If for some reason you need a ride in the morning, use the hotel phone and call me and I'll come get you.
I was like, okay, thank you, sir. That was very kind of him. Everybody so far has been nice except for that couple. So I get back to the hotel. I go up to the front desk lady. At this point, now the emotions have set in. I'm in shambles. And I start to explain to the front desk lady what happened to me. And she was just completely, she felt so bad for me. She was like,
Well, here's the hotel phone. Call who you need to call.
I was like, oh my gosh, my parents froze my account. Is it going to decline the hotel reservation? She said,
We're going to work with you. We're going to figure it out.
I called my parents to let them know I made it back to the hotel, and they let me know. I said, unfreeze my accounts, please, because I gotta at least check out of the hotel, and then we can freeze it and get a new card later. So they unfreezed it for me. I let them know, hey, I'm gonna have to use landlines to call you for the rest of the time. So be by your phone so that I can get in contact with you. I told the lady at the hotel, I said, do you know how I can get an Uber or a taxi to come here? Because I know taxis are more expensive than Ubers. I said, how am I gonna get a ride at this point? And she was like,
Girl, I'm surprised that taxi dropped you off because the taxis don't come this far out. They stay within the main city of Vegas, so I don't think you're going to be able to get a taxi here. See if Uber has a website, see if you can do Lyft on the website.
like we were trying, but it was just like we couldn't get it together. And I'm sure Lyft and Uber can be ordered on the URL, but we couldn't get it together. She said,
I tell you what, I'm going to be driving by the airport anyway tomorrow. When does your flight leave?
I said at like 8 in the morning. She said,
My shift ends at 6. If you get up, you can ride with me.
I was like, thank you, sis. And that's the reason why I didn't say the name of the hotel, because like I didn't know if this was going to get her in trouble or whatever the case may be. And then she said,
I'll give you a wake-up call in the morning since you don't have your phone.
I said, and as far as breakfast, girl, like I know breakfast doesn't start until like 7. She's like,
Girl, I'm going to leave something out for you.
I'm like, thank you. Like she was so helpful because how am I going to get food at this point? So I go back to my hotel. I was going to call my parents on the landline in the hotel room. More red flags. The hotel room phone doesn't work. How am I going to get a wake up call for a phone that don't work? I was like, I'll just use the alarm clock that's in the hotel. Alarm clock doesn't work. I'm a millennial. I know how to work an alarm clock. The buttons were broken. So I was just like, well, I guess I'm going to stay up all night. So I put on Wayne's Brothers because that's what was on at 3 in the morning. And I stay up all night for like, I only was going to get 3 hours of sleep anyway. I go downstairs. The lady at the front desk left out some food for me, so I was able to eat. And she did as she promised, and she took me to the airport. When I got to the airport, I had no phones. I was able to print out my boarding pass using my debit card when I got to Spirit. Luckily, I barely make it because, when your plane leaves at 8, we left the hotel at 6, so we were still pushing it, but I still got there in time. I get on the plane, most boring plane ride ever because I don't have a phone to watch movies. I had downloaded some stuff on Netflix to keep me company. Couldn't do that. I don't sleep well on planes because I get plane anxiety. And plus, after this whole weekend, there was no way I was going to get some true sleep on that plane. I'm used to Hartsfield Jackson. Hartsfield Jackson does not have landlines available anywhere. Well, at least at the time they didn't. I went up to the help desk. I went everywhere. Nothing. So I walked over to Spirit, asked the employee at the Spirit desk. I was like, do y'all have a landline back here? And I explained, like, I don't have a phone. I need to call people to pick me up. The lady just pulled out her cell phone and was like,
Here, use mine.
because obviously she didn't know where no phone was either. I had to use a Spirit employee's personal cell phone to call my parents to come get me. I told my dad what terminal I was at. He said, all right, I'll be there in so-and-so time. Be waiting in the median and look for my car because he has a maroon colored truck and there was no way I was going to miss that. So I stood there until he showed up and I was able to safely get home. Once I got home, my parents helped me get a new phone. I did have insurance on my phone, so I didn't have to buy a brand new phone, but I did have to pay the deductible to get a new phone. Luckily, the couple had not stolen any of my personal information or card, but I still froze them and got all new cards. I deleted all my accounts and made new usernames for my email and all that just in case they somehow had time to get into that, which I didn't think they had. Apparently, when they raided the couple's room, they were like dead asleep. So I don't think they had time to steal anything from me, but in case they took pictures of my information, at least we got rid of all that. When I did find my iPhone, I couldn't remember the password to get into my iCloud account, so I couldn't find my iPhone until I got the new phone and set it up. And then I was able to see that my phone was still at Park MGM somewhere, but they probably tossed it and that's why no one could find it on the premises. So no, I never got my phone back. I wasn't aggressive with like pressing charges on this couple. I know I filled out the police report. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if they went to jail. I don't know if they fled from wherever they came from or whatever dungeon they came from, but I don't know. And at this point, I don't care because I hadn't backed up my phone since June of this year. I lost contacts, pictures, all the pictures that I took like before the concert, like Silk Sonic had this little lounge lounge with the words over the couch, and I took my pictures there. I didn't have any of those memories from that. I didn't have any memories from the photos I took in Vegas. All that's gone. And I hate that they tarnished the memory of something that was supposed to be one of the greatest weekends of my life. And that's what I have to remember. I barely remember the concert because of this. Side note, Booking.com did actually give me my money back. It took a couple of days. I guess if you fight hard enough, you can get your money back, but it seems as though Booking.com does not want to do that. Moral of the story, I will not be taking any more solo trips, at least unless I know someone in the city, and I don't encourage you to do the same because so many things can go wrong. And I had some guardian angels, but you know, they were trying to tell me like, girl, this ain't gonna work. They were trying to warn me the whole time, and I did not heed the warnings. I don't know if I'll ever get another chance to see Sonic in concert, or if they'll tour, or if they'll do another residency. I hope so. By the way, Park MGM did offer to have me come the next day, but at this point I didn't have enough money to get another hotel room, to get it, you know what I'm saying? It would have been a lot to reschedule the plane, and I had to go back to work. I couldn't do it. I would have loved to. And Park MGM also, like, the couple had bought all this merch, so they took all the bags from them that they had, and I got to keep all the merch that they had. Well, I'll say they didn't ask for it back. Like, they gave me the stuff and was like, is this yours? I was like, oh yeah, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, because they had stolen my merch too. They took everything, so I got everything on the merch table basically because they just took their bags, and because they knew the stuff in it was supposed to be mine, but the other bag was theirs. So I have their stuff. I guess they paid for it, probably with someone else's money. Who knows? So please be safe out there, guys, especially in Vegas. I know it was my first time, but if you ever take a trip, take someone with you. Don't put your stuff down. Don't trust anybody. Don't take drinks from strangers. Make sure you know someone in the city, and make sure you're telling people where you are every second of the day, because this could have gone very wrong. What if they did put something in my drink? What if they couldn't find my stuff and I was stranded in Vegas? And I'm hoping that by putting this story out, someone can learn something from this. So thank you for listening.